this is the video clip for explaining question number 20 on AMC 8, 2022. So that must be AMC 8 and year 2022. Alright, so let's read the question. It says, the grid below is to be filled with integers in such a way that the sum of the numbers in each row and the sum of the numbers in each column are the same. Okay, so, like taking all those sums and all the sums in the rows and columns, they're pretty much the same. And 4 numbers are missing. Alright, the x in the lower left corner is larger than the other 3 missing numbers. What is the smallest possible value of x? So I think we need to label stuff, I guess. And the sum that it has to be exactly the same, I guess it gotta be 12, because if you take the sum of -2, 9, and 5, that becomes 12, right? And of course you can see it from the column-wise as well. You can see it from 5 minus 1 plus 8. That also turns out to be 12. Alright, so what are the first thing that we have to see? I think we need to, since we labeled the given graphic information, I think maybe we need to, set up equations and expressions. We got x plus a minus 2 equals 12, hence that got to be 14, I guess. And also b plus c has to be 5. Is that correct? No, actually it's not correct. It got to be 3. And x plus c, it must be 4, I guess. And a plus b must be 13. Okay, how did we know that a plus b equals 13? If you take the middle row, the sum of all those 3 numbers, a plus b plus -1 has to be 12. So that's how we get it, okay? So right now, even without further investigation, it seems like we got 2 x's, we got 2 a's, and 2 b's, and 2 c's that appeared on this list. So 2 times a plus b plus c plus x must be what? Gotta be something, the sum of 17 and 17, right? So 17 plus 17 must be 34, I guess. Okay, and the third one is that a plus b plus c plus x must be 17. Is that correct? Right. And it says the x in the lower left corner is larger than the other 3 missing numbers. So we need to find the smallest possible value of x. So let's try to, write that information down. Let's try to underline, this particular sentence. And it says x has to be greater than a, and x has to be greater than b, and x has to be greater than c. Okay, so we have a plus b plus c plus, x. We found out that we have, a plus b plus c plus x has to be smaller than x plus x plus x plus x. Okay, so right now we got 17 that are, greater than 4x, I guess. So x has to be roughly greater than 17 over 4. So 4 and 1 over 4, we need to begin from x equals 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and so on. We gotta check whether they actually work. This lower bound doesn't necessarily imply that we actually get the answer. So, if x equals 5, let's see what happens. If x equals 5, and if x equals 5, we found out that a gotta be 9, and c gotta be -1. So we have a equals 9, hence b equals 4, and 4 minus -1, it just, does it work out? B equals 4, c equals 5, and yes, it does work. However, kind of goes against the given assumption, doesn't it? We got x that is greater than a, it just doesn't work out that way. So cross it out. I think in the same way, I think we can cross out, we can cross out c as well. Because if you plug 6 down here, well, the third equation makes sense, but it just doesn't seem like we need to have 8 down there, right? That just doesn't work out. So out of just guess and check and just going through. And of course, like if we have x equals 7, it's not in the list at all. Why? Because if we, like make them 7, then the remaining, I guess that's a, right? A got to be 7, so it's kind of going against the given assumption. So in the end, I think we need to plug, like 8 and just try to check whether it works. Okay. Right. So the last step that we have is that making sure that when x equals 8, it just all works out nicely. So we got 8 plus 6 equals 14. Okay. And b plus c still 3. And I got 8 plus negative 4 happens to be 4. Okay. We have 6 plus 7, which is equal to 13. And we get 7 and negative 4. It all works, and x is just the greatest out of all 4 numbers. Hence, we get the answer D.